Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. Today, I'm going to talk about priorities and productivity as I promised, and I welcome your questions at the end of the presentation. We are fortunate to have Sandra Stepan as guest speaker, and I will introduce her a little bit later. Before I start my presentation, please let us know where are you from right now and what you do. Are you a self-employed professional or a 9 to 5 employee? I'm just curious. You can also post your question or questions during the presentation. Also, I advise take screenshots from the presentation and save it if you feel it's something worth to remember. So let's get started. Today, we are talking about how to manage our time better using priorities, understanding our performance, and a method called Eisenhower box. No matter what job you are in, I'm sure these tips can help. Imagine stepping into a new job or starting a business and feeling like you are navigating a complex confusion. If you had a detailed map for day one, outlining how to handle tasks and challenges, wouldn't that make your journey smoother and less stress? I'm sure it would. So today we are going to talk about the importance of priorities, individual versus team priorities, performance metrics, the Eisenhower method overview, and also the applications, boundaries and barriers, productivity and influence, feedback as a tool, and of course we'll have a Q&A session because I really want to hear what you have, if you have any questions. Now, let's talk about the importance of priorities. When we have a lot to do, knowing what to tackle first is key for sure. That's where setting priorities comes in. It's like knowing which domino to push first so that everything else falls into place. Visualize your work desk with a mounting pile of tasks. We've been there, all of us, for sure. Like creating a report for the next day or respond to a long list of received emails or returning a favor to a coworker who helped us in the past. All those tasks can be overwhelmed, right? So instead of feeling swamped, what if you could pinpoint the most impactful tasks and tackle them head on? It's not just about doing more, but doing what truly counts first. And I'll give you an example. If you see a big report due in a few days and start on it immediately, you'll progress smoothly. But if you begin your day checking emails and get caught up in smaller tasks, by evening, you'll be stressed about the unfinished report, and we don't want that. Okay, let's talk about individuals and team priorities. Think about it this way. Sometimes you have stuff that's important just to you. But if you are working in a group, there might be tasks that matter to everyone. It's a bit like choosing a movie to watch alone versus with friends. Think of a time when everyone in a group had their own agenda. Chaos, right? Now, imagine a synchronized team where everyone's effort align perfectly with the collective goal. Well, that's the difference clear team priorities can make. Communication is key for sure. And I'll give you an example. Picture yourself at the beginning of a project. If you pause for a moment to make sure everyone on your team knows where they are supposed to do and what's expected, things will go without any hiccups. But if you just jump into talking it through, you could end up having disagreements or doing the same task as someone else on your team, which will slow things down. Let's talk about performance metrics because this is an important topic. Performance is about seeing how well we are doing. If you set a goal, did you do it? Checking our performance can help us know if we are on track or we need adjustments. We all have moments when we ponder how to be more efficient. What if at the end of the week, you could identify one thing to improve. Over time, these small refinements can turn into a big improvement in your performance. And again, because I love examples, I'll give you an example. Every Friday, you reflect on your week's accomplishments and areas for improvement. Noticing your slow with emails, you allocate a specific time each day to address them. However, if you don't monitor your performance, you might continue receiving complaints about late responses, and we do not want that. All right, let's talk about a neat tool called Eisenhower Box. It's a simple way to sort tasks by how urgent or important they are. See this image, which is a square box split into four small boxes. Faced with a daunting to do list, it's easy to feel paralyzed. But what if there was a tool that could declutter your task, helping you focus on what's urgent and essential? That's the magic of the Eisenhower box method in action. And again, I'll give you an example. If you have this box on your desk divided into sections and labeled with priorities, it helps you visually manage what's important. On the other hand, if you maintain a lengthy to do list without clear priorities, you might struggle to decide what to tackle first. Well, time is something we all wish we had more of. That's not even a brainer. Yet, with a structured approach, you can address immediate needs and still carve out time for significant project. No more getting lost in the hustle and forgetting the bigger picture. Now let's observe the Eisenhower box. Top left, stuff that's urgent and important, and you see the flame. It's something you have to do it. Top right, tasks that matter but aren't urgent. Bottom left, things that shout do me now but aren't necessarily super important and we can delegate. Bottom right, stuff that's neither urgent nor important and we want to delete it. And let's go a little bit deeper. Urgent and important, give an example, meaning to prep for tomorrow. You have to do it. It's top priority. Not urgent and important, learning a software for next month. Well, you're not learning today, but you have to set a deadline. So at one point, it's going to be important and urgent, not today. Urgent and not important, responding to a casual chat match message. Somebody else can do it for you, and neither urgent nor important, watching a random work related videos. I'm not saying work related videos are not important, but you don't want to watch random. We can talk more about this in a different session. Boundaries and barriers. I really love this section, and I have a full chapter in my book, The Mastery of Self-Confidence. We don't have the time now, but sometimes we get distracted or we are too stressed. To make our Eisenhower box work, we need to set limits for ourselves. Think of them as fences to keep distraction out. Yes, this is why I chose that picture. It's very important to identify barriers like stress and procrastination because they can mislead our sense of urgency and importance. In today's connected world, pings and notification can easily derail focus. But what if you set a clear boundaries? Imagine a workday where you are in control, undistracted, and accomplishing tasks at an optimal pace. Give you an example. If you set your phone to do not disturb during deep work session, you remain focused and efficient. However, if you always open to chat and allow constant interruptions, your task will inevitably take longer and you don't want that. What strategies to overcome barriers and tools and methods we can use to manage stress and how we can approach procrastination? Well, if you feel stressed, take a short walk. Are you procrastinating? Well, break your task into tiny steps and start with just one. It's about finding small tricks to beat those barriers. And again, because I love examples, when you feel your energy decreasing, if you stand and stretch or take a short walk, you'll feel refreshed and jump back into work effectively. But if you choose to power through, you might feel increasingly tired and make more mistakes as you go. Productivity and influence. When you are more organized and productive, it rubs off on people around you. It's like laughing. One person does it, and suddenly everyone's doing it. Think of a leader whose productivities and work ethic have always inspired you. Their influence isn't just about their achievements, but how they elevate everyone around them. That's the ripple effect of positive influence in action. Don't you aspire to be that guiding star for others? I would. Example, when you're focused, others notice. Even your colleagues might ask for your secret regarding leading the team to become more efficient. However, if you often appear stressed, people might hesitate to give you additional tasks, fearing you're overwhelmed. Feedback as a tool. Remember to ask, how did I do today? Checking in with yourself helps you adjust and get better. When people say nice things or point out things you can do better at work, it's like looking in the mirror for job selves. Yes, I chose that funny picture. Try to use these comments to get better at what you do, or fix things you might not know are wrong, and keep getting better. It's not about looking for pats on the back, but about always getting better. Example, imagine you're in charge of a new product launch. If you actively seeking input from all departments, tweaking the product based on their expertise and insights, the launch is more likely to be well received and successful. On the other hand, if you only rely on your own judgment without consulting others, you might overlook critical details, leading to potential challenges during the launch. Today, we cover setting priorities, checking our performance, and the Eisenhower box. These tools are like gym equipment. The more you use them, the stronger you get at managing your time. Your career is shaped by many choices you make. When you prioritize well and use feedback to grow, you create a clear path to success. Imagine where these choices can take you in the next 5 years. Take a screenshot if you want to save my contact information, and I hope we will connect in the future. Um, in short, what I do personalized coaching for leaders and business professionals. I customize seminars, masterclasses, and workshops for teams, and I do public speaking engagements on performance, leadership, and self confidence. Okay. I hope it wasn't too boring for you, but anyway, um, make sure you post your question, and I will make sure at the end I will reply to you. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this masterclass today, we are fortunate to have Sandra Stepan as a guest speaker. Sandra is not only my daughter, but also she is recognized in the e-commerce digital marketing sphere for her exceptional discipline, impressive organizational expertise, and masterful time management. With her history of building successful seven-figure e-commerce brands, Sandra demonstrates how prioritizing tasks is key to achieving notable success in fast-paced, competitive world of digital marketing. Again, we will respond to your question after Sandra's presentation. Let's bring Sandra here. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, thank you so much for that introduction. Always happy to be on camera with you, and thank you for an awesome presentation.
Yes.
I learned a lot, and I'm sure that everybody that's watched has learned a lot too.
So, what are you going to talk about today?
Well, today actually we're going to talk about 5 strategies to freedom. So I'm really
Mhm.
excited to talk about how you can use discipline to create your goal life that includes the freedom to choose, not to do whatever you want, because the freedom to do whatever you want sometimes can get very dangerous and boring, but to choose to do whatever you want. So I'm going to talk about that.
Yes. I like the choose word. Just give me a minute. I um I just read a book yesterday, and C, like choice, C, is between, oh my God, A and B.
Mhm.
And no, sorry, it's between B and D, and B is from birth and D is from death. So in between, we have choices. So we
Yes,
better use this word, you know, C for choices. Okay.
I like that.
Your floor is yours, actually. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Sorry, I just need to be able to present. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. So let's talk about 5 strategies to freedom. But before that, a little bit of an overview on who I am. So let's get introduced. If you want to drop a comment in the comment section and let me know where you're from, what do you do, what's getting you out of bed in the morning, whatever you want to say, it's perfect. So as for me, I have co-founded a multiple six figures an annual revenue digital marketing agency in 2016 that I still spend most of my time working in. I work with businesses to help them scale profitably by building and leveraging digital assets. So that sounds like a lot of fancy words. What I do is I work with businesses, I do their marketing, and I help them scale and dominate so that they can not only sell more, but put more profits into their pockets. I've also scaled my own e-commerce brands to seven figures, and between all of that, I have started and I have failed at several other dozen e-commerce stores. Now, one thing that I think it's important to note about me is that I am what we call a digital nomad, and I currently work 100% remotely. So over 50 Airbnbs clocked in the last 2 years, mostly in Eastern Europe. And I've lived also in Bali, in Thailand, Croatia, Serbia, where I currently am. I'm in Belgrade, Serbia, Montenegro, and a lot of other fun places. So, as you can imagine, my plate is full with a lot of work, a lot of travel, and a little bit of personal and social life in there as well. So, I get this question asked a lot. How the heck do you do it? How do you do all of it? Well, actually, funny that you should ask, or the people that usually ask me. I was talking to a friend last year. It was actually around this time, the busy time, holiday season, which is the busiest time for marketers last year. And he also owns a marketing agency. And I was telling him that I got 8 new clients in the last quarter. And he's like, wow. He's like, how can you manage 8 clients for a marketing agency? He works with bigger clients, so he handled less. And I said, no, no, no. I got 8 new clients. I manage 20. So one thing that I want to say, a little bit of a story, is that admin work and staying organized has not ever come naturally to me. In fact, growing up, I was totally a scatterbrain. I was always late with assignments from the earliest grades until probably university, or early university actually. I was always anxious about leaving everything until the last minute. I wouldn't pack my school bag until the morning. I was never that person that packed her bag at night. And that was the situation for me until I got my first and then my second job while I was in university. So if you are older than, let's call it 30, you know what Sears is. I used to work at Sears and I was working in the makeup department. So I had an awesome job that I loved because I love makeup and I like interacting with people. So I worked at Sears 20, 30 hours a week, sometimes even more during the holiday season. So that was my first job. And then I was spending about an hour every day getting ready because I worked in the makeup department, and the beauty brands I used to work with, they demanded, required that part of my uniform is a certain amount of makeup products on my face or on my skin. Then I would go to university and I would work as a teaching assistant for the French program. So I was faced with having to plan pretty much every minute of my day. I am not kidding when I said that I had a schedule for showering, getting ready, driving, going to Tim Hortons to get my double double and my donut, and getting to school. I would plan absolutely everything in my day. Otherwise, I couldn't get it all done. So fast forward to now, 2023, where I manage between 20 and 30 projects every single month, and I still have every minute of my day planned. So you're probably thinking, that sounds exhausting, Sandra. Like, where is the fun in your life? Where is the spontaneity? Where is the freedom? Well, here's one thing that I've learned about freedom. I've learned that freedom is in discipline. So today I manage a marketing agency and 2 online brands because I have been disciplined with my time. I have this freedom to create my own income because I have the discipline to work very hard every single day to learn how to solve problems that pay me. I have the freedom to fire any client that I don't want to work with anymore at any time because I have the discipline to do sales and prospect and send emails and fill my pipeline with new opportunities. I have the freedom to work from anywhere in the world because I'm disciplined enough to not let travel distractions and local social events take over my life. I also have the freedom to eat a piece of cake when I want to eat it, or a cocktail maybe that has a lot of calories, because I have the discipline to move and go to the gym or go for a walk every single day. And I have the freedom to live my life in my own way because I have the discipline to do what it takes to get there. So when I'm looking at freedom and creating the life that I want at work, in my personal life, my health life, I see discipline as a form of freedom, because when you are disciplined to get to where you need to be, then you get the freedom to do what you need to do or what you want to do. So today I'd like to give you 5 discipline strategies that you can implement today to give you the freedom to have the life that you want. Whether that life means the freedom of a healthier or a wealthier lifestyle, or the freedom to work in whatever role you want, get that promotion you've been thinking about, or the freedom to enjoy more personal time. Or maybe that means the freedom of having a little beer by Kalamegdan in Belgrade, like I did here with Serge. I think this was my birthday 2 years ago. So when it comes to 5 strategies to get to the life you want, the life of freedom that you want, the first thing you need to do is decide what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, then you can't possibly get it. So the first thing to achieve the life that you want and achieve the goals that you want is to actually set your goals and set your targets. A good goal has a numeric value attached to it and also has a timeline attached to it. So a good goal is something like, I want my business to achieve $1 million in sales in 2024. A good goal would be, I want to lose 5 kilograms, and what I'm missing there is a timeline in 3 months, 6 months. A good goal is, I want to spend 1 more hour a day with my children. Because if you don't know what you want, you can't achieve what you want, right? So I want to make more money, or I want to lose some weight. That's not a goal. That's just a thought. I want to. That's a thought. I want to achieve X by this date. That is an actual goal. Now, I want to leave you with a note. It's very easy to get depressed and discouraged when you are comparing yourself to others, right? So your friends, your peers, your colleagues, especially when you go to social media. Every platform right now is full with people that are only posting about what they have achieved. So when you're looking what others have achieved, do not compare your goals to theirs. Compare your goals to your own wants and your own needs. Your goals need to be yours and not anybody else's. But again, set your goals and set your targets. I call it targets because I'm very business oriented, but it can be a goal. It can apply to your life. It can apply to your business life. Decide what you want. That's the first step to achieving your freedom. Now, the second step to achieving your freedom is making the needle movers your focus. So what are needle movers? Needle movers are activities that get you closer to where you want to be at work, in life, in your health, in your personal life, in your social life, in your relationship. So what you need to do now is literally write down. I do every single week and every single day, write down the activities that will get you to your goal on a piece of paper, in a document, and make those the focus of your life. Right? So think about what moves the needle forward for you. What moves the needle forward towards your goal? For example, if you are an entrepreneur or a new business owner and your main goal is related to how much money you make, but most of your day is spent, if most of your day is not spent on sales and marketing, then you're not working on the activities that are directly related to your goal, right? So if you're a new business owner and you want to make more money, you want to achieve that $1 million in sales by the end of 2024, and most of your day is not spent on activities that generate you sales, that generate you profits, then you're not working on your goals. So one piece of advice that I give usually startups that I work with is don't trip over dollars to pick up pennies. I would love to trademark that, but I stole it from my husband and business partner, Serge. He was the first one that told me, or actually told one of our clients a while ago, don't trip over dollars to pick up pennies. So staying busy might make you feel good in the moment, might make you even feel productive in a moment. But if you're working on the wrong things, then you are going to stay busy permanently, right? So if you are a new brand and you sell products, you need to spend your money on marketing, on sales, on strategic partnerships, on broadcasting your products everywhere on social media. If you're a new business that sells services, you gotta pound the phones, you gotta pound the emails, you gotta pound LinkedIn. You gotta do sales. If you are a professional that's looking to get a promotion, then you should spend your time learning the things that are required in that ideal job that you want to get. Those are your needle movers. So think about first, decide your goal, and then write down what those activities that will get you closer to your goal are, and spend most of your day on those activities. And then you want to delegate, but you want to delegate with purpose. So I know you've heard this before. Don't do the things that don't get you closer to your goals. Delegate, hire someone to do your admin, hire someone to do your social media. Perfect. It's a great piece of advice. The problem is that most business owners, professionals, entrepreneurs are doing delegation wrong, right? So when you think about delegating, usually the thought process there is, well, if you make $50 an hour doing whatever you're doing, so let's say I make $50 an hour doing marketing for other brands, and I hire someone to perform a task for me for $25 an hour, I'm not spending $25, I'm still making $25. So in theory, great. Now, the problem is that most professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs that delegate, they don't spend their newfound time on the needle movers, right? So if you are, let's say, a new brand, a new business, a business that sells a service in Ontario, and you decide, okay, I have so much admin to do, I can't do all this admin, I'm going to hire someone to do admin for 10 hours a week. Well, if in those 10 hours a week that you have now gained, you're not doing sales, then you are wasting the money they're spending on delegation. I've been doing sales, by the way, since a while ago, at least 10 years. I've been doing sales for over 10 years. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that if professionals, brands, entrepreneurs, businesses spend 10 extra hours a week doing sales, whatever those sales look like, that can look like ads, that can look like LinkedIn, that can look like partnerships. If businesses spend 10 extra hours doing sales a week, not only will they achieve their targets and their goals, they will surpass them. 10 hours extra in sales is huge. So when you are delegating, it is your responsibility to spend the delegated time only on activities that bring you closer to your goals. That's how you properly delegate. And then, I love this one, calendar scrutiny in one task at a time. So let's get this out of the way. There's absolutely no such thing as multitasking. At least there's no such thing as multitasking with the same performance achieved as solo tasking. Even if you're walking and taking a call, right? We're thinking, okay, I can multitask in the sense that I can do work on one client and then on another client, and I'm toggling between the two. But maybe I can multitask, I can have a phone call while I'm walking. Not quite, because there have been studies that say that muscle to brain connection is a real thing, right? That's why it hurts more when you work out without music, because when you have music in your ears, it's a distraction. You're essentially covering up part of your performance when you work out. Now, I am not a doctor, I am not a sports expert, I am a person that goes to the gym, but I am a person that has achieved a lot of her goals and her clients' goals over the last many years of working in my agency. And I can tell you with certitude that multitasking is not real. So by the way, you can Google this and fact check it. But when you get distracted from a task, it takes 23 minutes to regain focus. So how can you possibly be multitasking when it takes you 23 minutes to go back to your task? There's no such thing as multitasking. So one task at a time. Calendar scrutiny, it means using your calendar to add tasks into it and stick to it. So in the screenshot here, that is my calendar. That is my calendar from the last first week of November. And here's what I do. Every Sunday, I hash out all of my work tasks and I schedule them. So I look at every single project that I have, from client work to sales to admin to team management to my own brands, every single project that I work on, and I hash out all the activities that I need to do. And I do that because I need to allocate time for every task, right? So time expands or tasks expand or compress in relation to how much time you allow them. So if you allow a project to go on for 2-3 weeks, it will go on for 2-3 weeks. If you're allocating yourself 3 hours for that project, you are going to spend only 3 hours on that project. So in order to truly stay organized and really stay focused on a task, my advice is work on one task at a time and add your tasks in your calendar. So it takes a little bit of admin time, but when I go to bed on Sunday nights, I know that I'm ready for Monday. And the other piece that I'm sure we can have a much longer conversations in the future about is the energy allocation, right? So we say time is the most valuable asset that we have, but some would argue that energy is, because if I have a lot of tasks for XYZ client, I'm constantly thinking about it until I get to that task. But if I schedule my client on, let's say on Thursday in this time slot, I will not think about that client or that client work until Thursday on that time slot. So now I've freed up energy to think about the projects that need to happen on Monday and Tuesday. So calendar scrutiny and stick to it. I put in, you can see my calendar there. I even put in inbox management. So when I actually answer my Slack messages, my inbox, I put in when I talk to my team, I focus on one task at a time, and that's worked for me when juggling a gazillion projects. Feels like a gazillion projects. And then you want to track and measure. So goals need to be tracked. How else would you know if they work if you don't track them? So you can use a project management tool. I use ClickUp, but ClickUp is a pretty, I'm going to call it fancy, but more of a, there's a learning curve to use ClickUp, but you can use a spreadsheet, right? So use a spreadsheet and track the time on your activities. Track the time on every task you work on and continue optimizing. So I track my time on every task. So I track my time for every client and every task that I work on for that client. So let's say that I'm creating a strategy for Q1 for social media for client X. I will have a task in my project management software, which is ClickUp in this case, and I track my time for that client. Now, the reason why is because I want to know how much time I'm spending on every client. When I onboard someone new in my agency, based on how much they pay, if they don't pay the standardized price, they have maybe add-ons to their packages and so on, I allocate time for delivering the work, for fulfillment, right? So I allocate time for my designers. I allocate time, I tell my designers, these are the hours you're allowed to spend on this client. If you find yourself spending more hours on this client, then let me know, because we need to adjust something. We either take away from other work that we do for this client, or we have to have the discussion with the client with expectations. Maybe they're sending back projects too much and they want too many revisions, or maybe we don't need that much design for them. And then I allocate time for project management, for social media, and for whatever other projects. So at the end of the month, I'm looking at how much time I've spent on activities that are bringing me closer to my goals, and how much time I'm spending on activities that are distractions, right? So for me personally, my goals will always be new business generated and keeping the business that I have. So fulfilling my clients' needs and also doing sales so I can have a healthy pipeline. And if I find myself that I'm not spending time on the things that matter, so if I have too much time spent on things like admin or other operations, that I need to adjust that. Also, if I find myself at a computer for 10 hours a day, every day, which I have found myself many times, but I'm going back into my ClickUp and I'm seeing that I'm only tracking 7 hours of work, I need to figure out where my 3 hours went, right? Then I go to my social media apps And pretty much every social media app now has a usage time. So I know TikTok does and Instagram does, so you can see how much time you spend on your social media. So it doesn't have to be a fancy ClickUp, Asana, anything like that. You can use a spreadsheet, divide up your tasks into your needle movers, and then you can even write on a piece of paper every time you're about to create a task for yourself. Write it down. I started at 12:15, I finished at 12:45, and then add it up at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be like constant admin thing. So gotta determine your goals. You gotta work on your needle movers. You gotta delegate with purpose. Then you have to have scrutiny in your calendar, and then you gotta track and measure. New Year's Eve is approaching, so I wanted to leave a note about New Year's resolutions. So my note for you is scrap them. New Year's resolutions don't work. So 9% of North Americans keep New Year's resolutions. 23% of North Americans that make New Year's resolutions, they drop them by the end of the first week of January, and 43% of North Americans drop them by the last week of January. Personally, I think that New Year's resolutions are an excuse to start later. Why not start today? If you want those goals bad enough, then you're going to start today. Why? Because you have a 5-step approach. If you are going to wait for New Year's to this, stars are aligning, you don't have goals, you don't have targets, you have a thought. And you're not going to achieve anything that you want to achieve because there's nothing you want to achieve. You only have something to achieve when you put it down on paper and you decide you're going to achieve it. So I personally believe that New Year's resolutions are an excuse to be vague, and they're an excuse to feel like a victim when things don't go your way. Well, I wanted to lose weight. I started in January, but the gym was busy because a million other people wanted to lose weight. So I don't have time for this. I can't go at 5 p.m. And it's just like you feel so bad for yourself at the end of the month, and then you're just gonna become one of the 43% of people that drop them. So instead of New Year's resolutions, set up periodic goals with purpose, with disciplines that are tracked. I like to set my goals quarterly, so every 3 months, and then monthly, and then weekly. And every single day, I look at what I did today and what I need to do tomorrow. So I am evaluating my work, and I'm evaluating where I need to go, where I am every single day. I do that over coffee in the morning, so it doesn't take more than 20 minutes to 30 minutes, but it keeps me on track, on track with my goals and where I want to be professionally and in life in general. So thank you very much. It has been a pleasure to present to you today. I left a few notes here. If you want to screenshot this, if you want to connect, we can connect on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. And if you want to check out some of the content that my team creates, I have an awesome team. They create really good content. I have very little input, and I'm proud about that. You can check us out on LinkedIn, Instagram, and our website. So thank you so much.
Okay, amazing.
Thank
Bravo. So I was hearing a lot about discipline, and then I heard
you.
about freedom. So it looks like they go hand in hand, right? I mean, everybody wants freedom, but not so many people want like to have a little bit of discipline. And then I really like the goals. They're so specific, and I think this is the secret ingredient for success, to have clarity, to know exactly what do you want to do, what your goal is, and be measurable.
Yeah.
Like you said, I want to make $1 million by 2024, or whatever, how many pounds I want to lose by. And
Mhm.
it's good to use numbers.
Yeah.
And I like you said, staying busy only to be busy. And I think a lot of us, we are busy. Like if you ask people, are
We're
like they have no time, and they are busy. Everybody's busy, but busy or productive, they're not the same. They are not the same. So we can actually take away a few things from the busy the statement. And I really like, and actually I learned from you about the calendar, and I'm
Mhm.
actually time blocking now
Mhm.
every everything I do, because if it's on calendar, it's happening.
Yeah.
If it's not, even when I plan to clean, I don't know, the kitchen or whatever activities, like a social activities, I want to make sure it's on calendar.
Yeah.
I also can go back and see what happened last
Yeah.
week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, and then I know where to tweak, where my time goes. And it's important to know how we use our time, and then multitasking. And this is interesting because I was so proud when I went in a job interview, and when the interviewer would ask me, so what is your skills? And one of my skills were like, I multitask. And I was so proud. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, not just me, I was like,
Oh
I
yeah.
can multitask. You know who can multitask? A mother. A mother. Yes, a parent. A parent can multitask. But honestly, multitasking is no longer an asset. We have to, because like you said, we need at least 23 minutes, maybe more, to refocus to the
Yeah.
initial task and go back and imagine how many minutes we are actually losing every single time we are switching tasks. We
Yeah.
because we need to adjust. And honestly, I am not going back to the same flow. If I switch
Mhm,
task,
mhm.
even though if I wait like 25 minutes, I'm still
Yeah.
not the same, comparing with the time actually I start that task, because I started like intentional and with a lot of enthusiasm and energy. And like you said, we have to manage our energy instead of our time, uh, because we have, I mean, I'm very energetic in the morning, for example. I'm not so
Mhm.
sure other people, but and I want to use my energy level for things I can be productive, not
Yeah.
just well. And I actually like the again, I read in a book, it's good to be proactive instead of reactive. So when
Mhm.
we actually reply to emails, we are reactive. When we receive a message from, even for people we love, or even for
Mhm.
people we
Mhm.
care, or like our, I don't know, our clients. But if we reply, it's more like reactive.
Yeah.
It's so we have to be careful when we have notifications and
It's
yeah.
honestly
And
one.
yeah, and the last point, and I'm going to leave you to talk, is the New Year's resolution. And we talked about, I think 2 years ago or a year
Yeah.
ago, I don't even remember. To me, is procrastination. It's like
It is. Oh my God,
we
30 days
are
in
not
the year.
sure we are actually want to do those tasks or achieve those goals. So it's
Yeah.
more like pushing and pushing and pushing, and never is going to happen. If we buy the gym membership and it sits on the, I don't know, countertop, wherever, it's nothing. It's just what we did the right thing to buy the membership to the gym, but no, it's the action what matters, not the intention. So
Yeah.
amazing. Thanks so much. Was
Thank you.
amazing. I really, really hope people will ask questions related to productivity, priorities, time management. We have a comment, and thank you so much from Mariana.
Yeah.
Um, Amazing seminar. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you're here. And I was hoping we have some questions, but yeah.
It's fine. In the meantime, I just wanted to piggyback on a couple of the things that you said. So
Mhm.
you mentioned the, so just back to the multitasking and mentioning
Mm,
the setting things with intention. So you use that word. And I would like to say that my life actually changed when I started doing things with intention.
mm,
um I used to have major anxiety about all the work that I have, right? So I
mm,
managed so many clients, and I would feel almost guilty if I started working at 8 a.m. on client A, but not working on client B. And also, I was rushing always, always, always. I was rushing. I was always rushed. I was always rushed. I was always rushed. And then when I switched to putting things in my calendar and doing things with attention, even something as simple as taking a shower with intention. So I know I'm not the only one who feels guilty about doing her hair, makeup, getting ready, scrub, whatever you want to do in your personal grooming, because you're thinking, well, it's a Wednesday. Like, I don't have time for that. That's like a Saturday or Sunday activity, right? But when I started putting that in my calendar, my guilt went away. When
Mhm.
I started saying, okay, well, I have, on this day, an hour and a half for showers, so let's say, and I can do my hair and I can do my makeup. I don't feel guilty anymore. And I feel great about it because it's part of my routine. Same with gym. I used to say, like, I'm going to go to the gym at the end of the day. Now I do it before I start work because I want to prioritize my health. And again, I'm not taking away time from work to go to the gym. It is part of my day. And that's how I've been able to lose. I lost 2 kilos in almost 2 months. I'm excited about that. I'm happy
Yeah,
about that.
of course.
Yeah. And and I also wanted to piggyback on the New Year's resolution. So you said, because yes, we had this conversation 2 years ago, and you
Mhm.
said that. You said, I feel like it's procrastination. And I think it is. It's November 23rd. You still have
Mhm.
almost 40 days of the year. So I wonder if it is. New Year's resolutions feel great because, first of all, it gives us the buffer of time. Like, I don't have to think about it now. I don't have to make that effort now. And it feels like a new beginning. And we like new beginnings. New beginnings feel fresh. They feel,
Mm,
that's why people like spring, people like vacations and coming back home. New beginnings feel fresh.
yeah.
What I've also learned to do is to look at every day as a new beginning. I I'm working extremely hard personally to not give myself so much hard time for not achieving what I wanted to achieve today. So when I go to sleep, I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow I will work more. Tomorrow I will work out. I didn't get a chance to work out today. Tomorrow I'm going to work out. Tomorrow I'm going to stretch. Tomorrow I am going to eat one meal less because I ate too much today. So I have started to look forward to every day
Mhm.
instead of, it's a Monday. Mondays it's a reset, new beginning, the first of the month, new year, it's a reset because that makes you lose so much time. You are losing, between now and New Year's, more than a month if you're waiting until New Year. So start today. Start with one thing today. Just determine your goals. Tomorrow, do the next step. I feel like maybe because it is that idea of new and refresh, we wait so much, but why
Mhm.
not make new and refresh every day?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I actually want to plan, and maybe with you as again, like a seminar for procrastination, because I think it's a big deal. And if we can overcome the procrastination, we will achieve a lot. But I
Mhm.
can give you a short tip right now: the 2 minutes rule. Promise yourself you only going to do for 2 minutes. I don't know, running, walking, working. Write that book you want to write, or whatever you want to, or make it easy to access. So if you want to write a book, make sure your computer is where you spend the time most. Or if you want to learn playing guitar, don't put your guitar in a closet, put it in the
Mhm.
middle of the room, right?
Yeah.
So whatever you want to achieve, make sure it is like there, it's
Yeah.
visible,
Yeah.
it's not hard. And the opposite, if you want to get rid of some other things, you don't want to do it, make it hard. For example, if we binge on Netflix, move your couch the other way around, so when you want to, or take the battery out of the remote, so it's, you need an extra, effort to put the battery back in the remote if you want to start the TV. So, but yeah, I think we can actually have a nice seminar on, and we have a question,
Yeah.
an affirmation from Christy, and then I have actually two questions for you, and I've
Sure.
got two questions via email. But in the meantime, we have Christy, and Christy
Ooh.
is in UK. And no question
Aw,
more, an
nice.
affirmation that everything you touch today is golden. And if
Oh.
I apply correctly, we'll get somewhere closer to the goals. Oh,
Aw.
it's amazing. Yeah. And
Traveling
I,
personally for the last couple of years. Good
mhm.
seminar. Keep on the good work. This is awesome. Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank you
much.
so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much
Um,
for being here. Honestly,
yeah, thank you for being here and for
it
joining
is.
us. See that brightened my day.
I know. So
I
one
wanted
question. Oh, sorry.
to
Yeah,
very quick funny story because
please.
what you just said, it's very right. Like if you want to get rid of a bad habit, make it
Mhm,
hard.
mhm.
A few days ago, I really wanted some wine, but then Serge is like, you gotta go get it because it's raining. And he's like, I'm tired and I just got from
Yes.
the gym. I don't want to go buy it. So I didn't drink my wine.
Oh, and it is so true,
It's true. I didn't
honestly.
feel like it. Like honestly, just having some wine did not feel like it's worth the effort to go buy it.
Exactly. And you know what? Same with my supplements, with the vitamins, because I want to have a countertop, a clean countertop in the kitchen.
Yeah,
But then I was always forgetting about them. And then I say,
yeah,
why? What is more important? To
yeah,
have my everyday supplements, or to have, I mean, I can still have a nice, because now I bought a nice, jar. So
yeah,
you work out, but always be intentional, always know what's important for you.
yeah.
Now, first question for you. You are in Europe, in
Yes,
Belgrade.
I am in beautiful Belgrade.
Belgrade.
Yeah, it's got
Okay.
nothing you can see. I was hoping you can see the lights in the
Yeah.
restaurant, but
And you work mostly with clients from Canada and US.
yes, correct.
Now, how you manage to, manage your schedule due to the time zone difference? It's like six
6 hours, 6
6 hours
hours.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a morning person, so to me it would be like, oh my god, well, like
yeah,
what I'm going to do.
yeah. I
So how
heard
do
that
you
morning.
manage your schedule?
I got used to it, and I honestly I got used to it. I personally find it ideal because I do in the morning myself. So I
Mm-hmm.
prioritize myself first and then I do work.
Mm.
So in a more holistic sense, in the morning I wake up, I have my coffee, meditate, ideally read, which I haven't done for a while, but
Mm-hmm.
last year I was really good about it. Ideally read, or if Serge is still up because he works nights, he's
Mm-hmm.
a night owl, then we'll have a conversation and we'll have a strategic conversation. And then I do my goals. I look at what needs to be done for the day. I prepare, and then I do 2 hours of very deep work. So my most
Mm-hmm.
important work is done in the morning from 10:30 until 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
Then from 12:30 until 3:30, I have a midday break. I go to the gym, eat lunch, get
Yeah.
ready, and then 3:30 is 9:30 a.m. in on the East Coast, and that's when I do. That's when I work. So I split my day in
Mm-hmm.
multiple parts, and I am at a computer. So right now it's almost 9 o'clock here, but this is a normal work time for me. And I finish work at 11 p.m., 11 or 12, and I flipped it. Honestly, I just
Mm-hmm.
flipped it. So I didn't find it that hard. I definitely talked to other people that found it hard, and I've talked to other colleagues that were from similar time zones, so either Europe or even like South Africa. I have a lot of connections in South Africa, and they said I feel like I don't have a social life. Now,
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, my social life in Europe is not a top priority. My social life is a top priority when I am in Canada. I have three, four friends in Serbia that I go visit every now and then. So I make a day out of it. So for me, I go where, okay, actually, I go where it aligns with my goals. So
Mm-hmm.
my goals right now was new business and sustaining business, right? Because I'm a marketer. So for us, September, October, November, and first part of December is the busiest time of the year. So
Yes.
our goal in this quarter was money. It was money related. So then we know that Belgrade gives us that. Why? Because Belgrade has restaurants open till midnight, and that we're going to go after this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Our gym is close by. It's very accessible with a lot of things, right? When we were on an island in the summer with you, our
Mm-hmm.
goal was to vacation, to reset, to spend time with family. So we went
Mm-hmm.
on an island. Now I am in Belgrade and I'm going with my goals. So we came in here thinking about we're gonna achieve this at work and we're going to lose weight. Those were the two goals. So
Okay.
my social life is not important right now. It's just not important. So it's fine to work at night. I got used to it, and in terms of managing it, I manage my schedule in chunks. So in the morning I do the most important work. I do myself. So I do life, I do fitness, I do
Mhm.
mindset, and then I do all my work tasks from 3:30 and onwards. Long
So
answer to your question, but
yeah, no, and you said your social life is not important. I think it is important, but I think it's about priorities. So you
I,
decide
I,
what comes first, and then yeah, and it's like eating cake. Really, we don't eat cake every day. So when you save the
yeah.
time for your social life, you will enjoy it more. To be honest,
Oh,
instead of like having
absolutely.
every single day a little bit of like social life, going for a glass of wine or
Absolutely.
whatever you decide,
Absolutely.
it's not the same, but yeah, if
It's
it's once
important,
in a
but it's not a
while,
priority.
oh my goodness, that's amazing. So I've got a few questions. One of the question is related to emails. So somebody was
Mhm.
saying, and I was like surprised, getting like three, no, he wasn't reading 3,000 emails per year, so he got a lot of emails, but 3,000, he didn't even touch those 3,000 emails. And he was asking me, how can I deal with those? Like so many emails, like people are doing like CCs, BCC, wherever, like they're like just sharing, 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 sharing. And and actually, I had a conversation because I had a presentation to the University of Toronto, and I always ask question when somebody is asking me a question, what happened? You didn't reply to the 3,000 emails, and he said nothing. Voila. But how we can deal is we can there are a few ways. First, like triage, like because we cannot treat it like all the emails at the same, because we have our superiors, we have clients, we have colleagues, we have newsletters. So depends where the emails are coming from. We have to decide what to do with them. And then boundaries with us first, because
Yep.
people are thinking, yeah, boundary with somebody. Yes, people with other people, but I think more important is boundaries with ourselves.
Yeah.
So instead of checking emails every time, the ding ding notifications coming in, oh, somebody else needs
Yeah.
me, somebody, we feel like, because we want attention. Like since we are like babies, we are
Hmm.
crying because what? We want attention, right? We're loud because we want attention. We are like, I don't know, dressing a certain way because we want attention. It's in our nature, it's in our DNA, it's normal. But instead of replying, and as I mentioned before, reacting, because when we react, somebody else is deciding for our priorities, for our life, for our
Hmm.
work. Just schedule in the calendar, the one you mentioned,
Yeah.
twice or three times per day
Yeah.
checking emails.
Exactly.
So have like 15 minutes in the morning, checking emails, because you don't want to, maybe I don't know, maybe it's an important email there. I'm mostly referring to the 9 to 5 people where they don't have freedom like
Yeah.
100%, and they have to, and then I don't know, midday and at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Also have a auto reply message saying, hey, I'm only checking my emails twice a day. If it's something urgent, you can give me a call, you can text me, whatever it works.
Hmm.
Um, and also you don't feel guilty. Like you said, you talked about the guilt, because
Yeah.
this is a lot of pressure. It's stress when we feel like we didn't reply, especially because we were taught like few years, like a lot of years back, well, if somebody's emailing you, you have to reply right away. It's
Hmm.
like respect. And but you can be respectful, saying in just three
Oh,
words, I can't
absolutely.
talk to you right now, I will talk to you in 1 hour, 3 hours,
Yeah.
tomorrow, wherever it is. Acknowledge if you feel you want to reply or give like the auto response reply. And also, so that gentleman actually worked with in a 9 to 5 environment, and I asked him, talk to your manager, talk to your coworkers, see how they feel, talk, have a meeting, decide together, and yeah, and you can actually resolve. So are you
Yeah.
getting, I know your inbox is zero, your email inbox is
Right
zero.
now,
Tell
right
us a
now,
secret.
I was proud of it. I know I posted a screenshot last week. It did get to 100 emails, but that's like only like a few days worth.
Mm,
Um, Yes, so I try to keep my inbox at zero. That is a actually, I kid you not, inbox zero is a task of mine.
It
Zero.
is, yeah.
Um, so a couple of things that I do. My inbox used to be a mess. I was at
Mhm.
8,000 emails, unread emails. So I am insanely lucky that I have an assistant who
Yeah.
can. She went into my inbox and she organized it for me. So what she did is
Mm,
she created folders. So first of all, she created folders for every client, and then
mhm,
folders for other items like partnerships, podcasts, admin, blah blah blah. So that was the number one thing. So she created folders and she filed everything away in folders.
mm.
Second thing is she deleted and unsubscribed from anything that I don't open.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
those
Thank you.
newsletters, Sephora that we say we're gonna like look at Sephora products, they're
Mm,
not that important. And to manage it because she's done so much work for me. It didn't take her more than a few days to go through 8,000 emails, by the way. So, and she didn't know, right? Because if you're going through your own inbox, you know a little bit better than someone else. So now what I do is, yes, I clear my inbox at night. So before I leave, I clear my inbox. I as soon as I deal with, so the rule is if I open an email, I deal with it, and that's what Surge does. Surge has inbox zero
mhm,
constantly, constantly inbox zero. So if he opens an email, he deals with it. So I try to do the same thing. I will have to say, because I am more of a client facing role, I will get
mm,
emails from clients. So yes, sometimes I will say, like you said, triage, because
mhm.
right now it's Black Friday tomorrow, right? So
Oh,
we have one
yes.
client that we're sending 15 emails for this week alone. So if I see that someone from their team emailed me, it means that it is related to the promotion. So it's important for me
Mm,
to open that email. I may open it, and then if it's nothing urgent, I'm gonna like go back to it later.
mhm,
So I do peek at my emails, but only if I have like dead time. So if I'm waiting for a meeting and I have a couple minutes, I'll peek at it. But other than that, I've scheduled in my
mhm,
calendar to look at inbox, and then
yeah,
I file them away. So I file emails into client emails or
yeah.
admin or anything that makes sense. And then if
Mm,
there's something that I don't want to deal with or shouldn't be dealt with right away, I have two other folders that I file in. The first one is deal by the end of the day, and the other one is deal by the end of the week. So something
mm,
by the end of the day would be a client has asked me a question that is not for today. It's not about Black Friday, but they're like, hey, we're thinking of maybe doing this in January. What do you think? I don't need to reply right
mhm.
away, right?
Yeah.
Something that I reply to by the end of the week might be like, well, someone invited me to a podcast and they want me to book a podcast with them. Perfect.
Mhm.
I don't need to do it today. I'm going to do it by the end of the week. So that's how I deal with it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, we get emails, but also, like you said, like, who do we get emails from? What happens if you don't reply to emails? And if you know that you are in an organization or in a situation in a project where you are automatically CC'd on emails,
Mm,
but 90% of the times have nothing to do with you, create that automated filing, right? So like you can create in Gmail, I don't know about other email apps, an automated filing system. So I know
mhm,
that if emails from this company, they come to me, but I don't need them. But I may need them when I go back to work on that company in my blog, and then I have them
mhm.
filed away. And just create an automated folder, and Gmail will
Absolutely.
literally, you don't even see the email; it goes in that folder. And then you go
Mhm.
at the end of the day or at the end of the week, and then you go in that folder and look at your emails.
Yeah, I like the way you're working. You're just and this is what I do. I touch one time a task, so I'm not
Yeah,
opening an email and then I'm like, oh, I will get back. No, I will deal with the emails when I schedule my time to deal with
yeah,
emails, because we are wasting time really if you do
yeah,
all three to 2 times
exactly.
for the same task. And also, one of my rules is if takes only like up to 2 minutes, I can deal with it, I can
So,
resolve it, it's gone, I don't have to think about it, like
yeah.
not too much pressure. Another question I've got is related to how prioritize task, and I have to say, prioritizing task, actually it's a skill,
Mm-hmm.
because we have to identify the MIT, the most important task for us. And this is what I always recommend when I work with my clients. Identify three most important tasks every day or
Yeah.
weekly, whatever you decide, and go around those tasks. And you better identify those, they bring the money. Otherwise, it's
Exactly.
just it's so easy to get distracted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, because I like to ask questions when somebody's asking me a question, my first question is number one, what results or pleasure I get by doing this? Okay. So when I decide for a task, I want to know if I do this task, what I'm getting it. It's
Hmm.
something like pleasure because if I'm seeing you, you're my daughter. I can't wait to see you. I'm it's I will be insane happy. Or if I'm doing like in a business, I will make money or not.
Yeah.
Then the second question is what pain or what costs I get if I don't do it. So I always ask two questions when I decide for my tasks. So
Yeah.
how do you decide for the tasks for your MITs?
For me,
Mm,
it is directly related to my goals. So
mhm,
project related. So in my work, it's really important that I fulfill specific projects with deadlines. And that's how I identify my important tasks. Also, other important tasks for me are the tasks that I need to delegate. So if my team is waiting on me or my clients
mm,
are waiting on me and I'm the decision maker, I should
mhm.
get that out of the way because while I'm working on other tasks, then my team can work on those
Yeah.
tasks. And I honestly, for me, day to day in my work, I
Mm,
decide what's urgent, what needs to be done, and
mhm.
what takes me or my client closer to the goals. I
Yeah.
will say though that one little trick that I do when I'm really feeling like I don't want to work, like I don't want to, if I don't want to work and I'm having like a very down day, which we all do, like you said, I identified three tasks that if I only did those three tasks today, I would still consider it a successful day.
Mhm.
That if there's something on my mind that I really
Yeah.
need to get out, I would do that. And oh, and actually, I would if I have a really down day and I really can't find the motivation. It's raining outside. It's gray. It's pouring. I will start with something easy that I enjoy doing, just
Mm,
flow of things, just something easy, something that I'm like, oh, I'll go even posting on LinkedIn, which I like to do, just to
mm,
get in the flow of it, and then
yeah.
I'm gonna switch to the tasks. Yeah.
That's interesting. And back to the calendar, even the breaks can be scheduled in the calendar, and then
Oh, I have
again,
my
you don't
break.
feel guilty about taking breaks.
Oh
Another
yeah.
question was related to productivity, and people are getting like less and less productive, during the day. So there are a few things we can actually do. One is using the Pomodoro, and then we talked. I mean, I talked to a surgeon a few years back. I think 2 years. I can remember the Pomodoro technique, where we work 25 minutes and then we take 5 minutes break.
Yeah.
That's one. Another technique is the 90 minutes. I think it's a little bit to stretch 90 minutes and then 2 minutes. So it depends on, I mean, each individual is different. But what's important, the breaks, um, don't get and check social
Yeah.
media or checking emails. The break should be like deep breathing
Yeah.
or walk, even singing. And you know what? I dance. I sing and
Oh
dance.
yeah,
I
for
have
sure.
I have songs in my phones, and when I take a break, I stand up, I play my song, and I start actually singing because I know it's like a what 2 minutes and a half, 3 minutes, and
Yeah.
I don't have to measure my but it's important to take breaks. It's very and mental breaks, not just physical breaks,
Yeah.
mental breaks. And this is why we don't have to go right away. Oh, check, oh, I have a break. This is not a break. When you go and check your email, your
Yeah.
social media,
It's not a
then
break.
you see like a bad news somewhere or something like, I don't know,
No,
that you don't
I
like, and your
I agree with
energy
that.
it's out of the way on the window. So we don't want that. We don't want distraction. We don't want other people to dictate our energy. And yeah,
Well, more
we have to guard our energy.
exactly,
Mm,
and more high performing people are saying and are showing,
mm,
and there's studies that when you take a break, whether it's that 2 minute break or 5 minute in
mm,
Pomodoro or a weekend or a day off or a vacation, You need to do things that recharge you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that makes you think, why are so many people dreading Mondays? Well, part of it is because they don't like their jobs. They don't like their
Mm-hmm.
jobs because well, sometimes it's just situational. You have to take a job because your priorities is feeding your family and paying your mortgage,
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. But a lot of people are stuck in their jobs because they can't perform better, right? So think about it. When you take a break, when you take a two weekends, what do you do in
Mm-hmm.
those 2 days, right? Because we're all guilty of this. But how much time and how much energy are you spending on drinking,
Mm-hmm.
eating poorly, not moving, going to bed late, watching
Yeah.
8 hours on Netflix? I've been guilty of doing all of these in one weekend alone, trust me. However,
Mm-hmm.
what I have realized when I started, when I love wine, and I hope one day I'm gonna have a winery of my own, I will still drink. And this is an argument that I'm not arguing that alcohol is good for you or not good for you. I know it's bad for you. I know there's other bad things we do in life. So that's not the argument here. But when we stop drinking so much, so I
Mm-hmm.
probably drink like 1 or 2 days a week now, and maybe 3 glasses of wine each. That's all we drink, max 2 days a week, right? So when we stop drinking on the weekends, we don't think about, it's Saturday, we gotta drink. We don't think about
Mm-hmm.
that anymore. When we started spending our Saturdays going to the spa, going to the park, last week we spent half a day at the spa. Side note, our bathroom shower shattered and we didn't have a shower. But we went to the jacuzzi, we went to steam,
Mm-hmm.
we went to cold plunge. We felt
Mm-hmm.
energized. We did things that are good for our bodies, right? So when you're doing in your break, when you're doing
Mm-hmm.
things that are good for you, your body, your mindset, your spirituality,
Yeah.
whatever is good for your being, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
feel recharged when you go back. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you take a break and like you said, you go on social media, you see that one person you don't like that you went to high school with that I don't know why she's still on your Facebook, or you take a break and you go drink, or you have a
Yeah.
fight with your mom, your daughter, your sister, whatever. It's not a break. That is
Mm-mm.
more stress and more work attitude, right? Same with the
Yeah.
weekends. I love me a good party, absolutely. But
Yeah.
when I started swapping my weekends for more things that are good for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing my meditation, and like even on Sunday, like I did the spikes mat, Shakti mat for like
Mm.
over an hour just with meditative music. I'm like, this is great. Like it's better than this.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it recharges you, right? It's like a break is a break. It needs to be a break. And that's why you look at high performers,
Yes.
very high performers, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't
Mhm.
party. And, love him or hate him, Donald Trump does not drink. He does
Mhm.
not drink alcohol, right? And he's been president for 4 years and he has businesses. And a lot of high performance people don't drink, not because they don't like the taste of alcohol, because a lot of people
Mhm.
do, we all do, but because they know that if they drink, it's going to be a stress on their body, a stress on
Mhm.
their mind. Their sleep is going to get disrupted. They're
Mhm.
putting their liver through stress, and
Yeah.
they cannot afford that because they have those goals and targets they want
Mhm.
to achieve, right?
Yeah, it is so interesting. And also related to breaks, it's important to have breaks between tasks, especially if they're like not related. We need
Yeah,
to have like, I don't know, a few good minutes of break and then start with intention. Now I'm
yeah,
going to work on this whatever task. And to be honest, if I have something that I don't quite enjoy, like admin or I don't know, we all have like stuff we don't quite
yeah,
enjoy. I start with those, to be honest, in the morning.
yeah,
I feel so relieved and free
yeah,
and after that and accomplished, to be honest,
yeah,
because it's not sitting there anymore. It's gone. I
yeah.
dealt with. So
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
yeah. Anyway, we don't have more questions. We can talk and talk. We have so many like topics,
Perfect.
and we can like bring examples. But yeah, I think we had a good hour of
I think so too.
presentation combined with debating some um, items. And yeah, thanks so much. I know it's late.
Thank you
It's
very much. That is
what
okay.
time?
It's
Nine,
part of
nine
my
to
work.
you right
It's
now.
9:15 almost. It's part of my work day. So I intentionally said it. So I'm here at this time. But thank you so much. You always bring the best conversation around. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that we had some viewers and enjoyers, and let us
Yes.
have any more questions.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
everyone, for being here, and I hope we'll see you again. Okay. Bye
thank
now.
you.
Bye.